Hey everybody, it's Anna. Time for our final card in this week's tarot story. Today we have the Three of Swords reversed. So swords are connected to the mind. They're about ideas, beliefs, plans, and paradigms. And the number 3 is connected to growing momentum. So we're basically getting our speed up. Now in this card, we see there is a heart being pierced by swords. And so we often mistake this card for being about heartbreak. But it's a swords card. So it's not about the heart being disappointed. It's about the mind being challenged. It can feel like heartbreak because the mind is often very attached to the way things should go. And suddenly it discovers things are not working out to plan. So it can be mistaken for an emotional loss when really it is a mental loss. So the thing is, the mind likes to have a plan, has a set of expectations, how it thinks things are supposed to work. That doesn't happen, especially if you're not a mind intuitive. Now, with mind intuitives, they often can do that. They can make a plan, fulfill the plan, get all the way to the end and, achieve their goals. If you're a heart or body intuitive, usually things don't work out the way the mind expects because you're coming from a different place of wisdom. The heart or the body is a different place of wisdom than the mind. So the path is not linear when you are not a linear intuitive person. So the mind thinks we're doing this thing, and then something falls apart. Something changes, something fails. And the mind goes, oh no, this is so terrible. It's so awful. And this is the experience of the swords in the heart. Like, oh, my heart is breaking. But again, nothing is actually lost. The path just shifted in a way the mind didn't expect and didn't anticipate. And the mind can't expect or anticipate because it's not inside the mind's experience yet. So the mind learns from past patterns. When you're a heart or body intuitive, you're often creating totally new patterns. So the mind never is ready for that. So if the mind's going to gain speed here, that's what the 3 is about, momentum. If the mind's going to be able to gain speed and track with your spiritual journey, it's going to have to learn how to relax when things don't go the way they are planned. Now, this is a reversal. So that suggests to me that the mind might be struggling a bit with wanting things to work out in a linear way, and it's just not going to happen. And so the mind's being a bit resistant. So what occurs to me is we are on this new path. The Hanged Man reversed came to us on Wednesday, which is saying, yep, new vision, new plans, opening up. We are now starting on this path that is sort of formed at our feet from our time of integration. And the mind saying, yeah, but how do we make that happen? And it's trying to come up with a plan that it thinks is viable. So a good example of this, and this comes up a lot, is the question about money. Like, how am I going to make money? How will there be enough money? Where will I get the money? That kind of thing. The reason money becomes an issue is because there is a story in Western society about money that you have to create a plan to get money. In other words, you have to get a job, you earn a certain salary, you get the salary in, you pay your bills, you set money aside, whatever the plan is. There's a linear way to gain money. Okay, but money behaves like energy, which means it really kind of adapts to what you expect it to do. So the mind thinks, okay, I'm going to need $10,000 to launch this, whatever it is. How am I going to get it? Okay, maybe I can sell this. I can take this job, whatever. The mind's trying to come up with a linear path forward. And unless you are a linear thinker, that's going to very quickly feel overwhelming and impossible. On the other hand, if you treat money like energy, which is more in alignment with heart and body intuitives, then you just say, okay, well, the money's just going to show up. As I offer energy in the world, energy flows in. That includes support. That includes finances. It includes whatever I need. The universe is trying to help me here to make something happen. If I can relax and allow the flow to happen, somehow the money will show up. This actually connects to yesterday's card too, which was the 5 of Pentacles reversed. The idea that there are supports out there, but they don't behave in a way that's logical. So, I was having this conversation with my husband. He was talking about getting a tax return or something. And he was like, that's where the money's going to come from. I said, what if it doesn't come from that? Will you take it from another source? Would it be okay if money, if someone gives us money, would it be okay if money just magically appears in our checking account? Which, by the way, that's usually how money shows up for me. I just don't watch my bank account and the money just shows up. So now that's very unhappy, or not anymore, but my mind used to be very unhappy about that. We should be paying attention. We should have a strategy for making money. Every time I try to make a strategy or a budget or some kind of plan, money would run away from me. But when I stopped paying attention, money flowed in. So that is something that may not be your issue right now, but there's something about the mind trying to over plan, over strategize, overly observe something, which is essentially mystery. So if you are a body or heart intuitive, you come from a place that is mysterious to the mind. That's where leadership comes from, genius, and flow. So that will include any resources you need. And it will also include the fact that your path will shift unexpectedly because your intuition's bringing you into something in a certain way that makes sense for what you're doing. So we have to help the mind let go of the idea that it can understand things, it can anticipate things, or that it's in charge. Unless you're a linear mind intuitive, the mind should not be in charge. That's our final card for the day. This tarot story. See you next time. Bye.